right. Well, good evening, everybody. Good evening. Disregard the pile of trash I hear in my hands for just a moment. And I'm glad to have everybody here today. If you don't know me, I'm a grateful believer in Jesus who also struggles with codependency, emotional eating, and dopamine addiction through tech. And my name is Trevor. Hey, everybody. We're so glad that you're here on Monday night. I know this is a super busy time of year. Like Sam said, oh my God, Christmas is like 7 days away. What'd you say? I don't know. Way too few. Way too few. And so just from the bottom of my heart, we're glad that you're here. Whether, like she said, that this is your 2000th time being here, or whether you're brand new, this is a place that you can call home. And this is a fellowship of people where we say here at our church that we're not a museum for saints. We're a hospital for sinners here. And you are in good company. If you need help, and if you're looking for a different way to do life, you're in the right place, and we want you here. And there might have been places in your life where people told you you weren't welcome, you weren't wanted. We want you here, and you're welcomed here. So I just wanted to say that from the bottom of my heart. I want a quick note before we jump into our message. As Sam talked about, next week on the 23rd, we're going to have small groups. And so we're going to have a men's open share group and a women's open share group where whether you have a chemical dependency or a compulsive behavior or whatever else you have, it's all going to be just open groups to be able to talk about that. So I encourage you to come. That's going to be during some of our Christmas Eve services. So on the 23rd, our church is doing outdoor services. There's going to be 1 million people out there at 5 and at 7. And we're still going to be doing recovery here at 7 o'clock on Monday night. No matter what, we're always having a meeting here. All right, that's what we're doing, no matter what. So make sure you come to a meeting. Not just for you, because I keep hearing this whole recovery and sobriety thing happens one day at a time. So come for you, but come for the person who might be new, who might need other people to be there too. Got it? Got it, great. And then on the 30th, we're back to full schedule. It's going to be great. We're going to have our last testimony of the year. It's going to be chip night. It's going to be awesome. Don't miss it. It's going to be a great time. Great deal? Deal. Awesome. Okay. All right, so here's how I want to start tonight. I want to talk about recycling. I'm not like being all hippie and saying we all should recycle. I'm not doing that, even though recycling is a good thing. But I want to talk about recycling. This pile of trash, I originally intended to bring my recycling bin from home, and I forgot it because I'm smart. So instead, I went and rummaged all the trash out of all the different trash cans here at Community of Hope. They call me the recovery raccoon. Anyway. And so let's talk about recycling for a minute. So I have some paper here of, let's see here. Oh, this is sticking. All right, so this is from some of our delicious coffee beans. How many of you had coffee tonight? Yeah, so good. Oh, man, it's awesome. This was in Keith's office. I think this was his breakfast. I'm not sure. It smells like feet, but that's okay. And so we have cardboard here. What can you make when you recycle cardboard or paper? What can you make? More paper. Well, we're so smart on Monday night. More. Yeah, right. Okay. What else? If you know anything about it, what can you make? Wood what? Wood pulp. Wood pulp? Cool, I don't know. Great, right. What else? A box, okay. What else? A fire? You can make a fire. Burn that stuff, man. All right, a carpet? Yeah, you can make carpet. You can do a puppet? We're not doing arts and crafts hour, okay? Jeez, I don't do arts and crafts. I do arts and crap. Okay, anyway. So from cardboard, you can make, obviously, more cardboard packaging materials. This gets turned into construction material. Anybody here in construction at all? Yeah, a couple guys. All right, so in construction, where it can do insulation and other things. So you can do a lot of stuff with this. All right. I also went rummaging around in the trash to find aluminum. This was a Diet Coke I drank earlier today. And that's not Diet Coke. I rinsed it out. At least I'm not that trashy. I'm a little trashy, but not that trashy. And somebody's can of Celsius, God's gift to humanity, this stuff. Right? Where's my Celsius people at? All right, where's my Monster people at? God judges you. No, I'm just kidding. Red Bull. Anyway, I'm just kidding. All right, what can you do with aluminum? With recycled aluminum, what can you do with aluminum? Who keeps saying a lot? Of course you. Go take a lap. Anyway. All right, what can you do with aluminum? You can make an airplane, is that what you said? Okay, I guess it can go to materials for stuff like that. Here's some other things. Obviously, you can make more cans, more construction material. You can make window frames. This can go into roofing. It goes into other goods like bikes and cars and electronics, apparently airplanes. I'm going to take your word for it. Jesus is watching you. Don't lie. In your RV, all right, airboats, right? Okay, man, the Loxahatchee section has arrived. My RV and my airboat. Let's go. Horse what? Horse trailers. Okay, yep, okay. All right. All right, let's talk about plastic now. All right. Oh, boy. Pastor Dale's going to see this one week. It's like, why is Diet Coke on my podium? It was Keith. Anyway. I know. He's a Pepsi guy. We're praying for him. Anyway. Okay, so here's some other stuff I found. Some Dunkin' cups. I find that most of my friends here on Monday night, you guys are more Dunkin' people than Starbucks people. Is that true? Yeah, I knew it. You guys have, all right, so here's the deal. I still like my Starbucks, but y'all have converted me to love Dunkin' coffee, okay? You really have. So I have, like, if we, from the year that I've had getting to know all you guys, if somebody took my blood right now, Dunkin' Donuts is what would come out of my veins. Yeah, there it is. Okay, so what are some things you can do with plastic that's recycled? You can make a Kia? Or you say IKEA or a Kia? A Kia, a car. Only Kias. Okay, I don't know. What else? Clothing. Medical equipment. Roadways. Have you? Packaging. Have you guys ever been to seen like plastic lumber when decks are made out of this stuff? Or like when a playground is made of only recyclable material? You ever seen that before? Yeah, so you can do a lot of good stuff with all of this. It's not just garbage. It's not just trash. But that's what a lot of people say about you and about me. When they see our past, and we say here on Monday nights that we exist to help people discover hope and healing and recovery through the 12 steps in Jesus, no matter what brought you in here for. The world looks at us and the mess of our lives and will often discard us and say it's just garbage. In fact, I can imagine, and I know from lots of your stories because we've become really good friends over this past year, me and a lot of you, yeah, people tell you you were worthless. Garbage, just to be thrown out. But can I tell you one of the best things about the God of recovery? And we understand our higher power here is Jesus. My favorite things about Jesus is when the world sees garbage, Jesus sees opportunity. And when the world sees garbage and the world sees trash, Jesus sees something he can work with. And when the world sees a mess, he sees a treasure. There's Bible verses. Yeah, will you come get this? Thanks, Vance. It smells bad. Thanks. Okay. When there's a Bible verse, I'm not going to put it on the screen, but it's one of my favorite things where when we talk about this concept, it's that God is a redeeming God and a restoring God. Which, all that to say, it's a very churchy word. All that to say is that he fixes things. He recycles pain. He never wastes a hurt. And he makes something that's ugly and horrible into something beautiful and good. And so whatever brought you here on Monday night, I'm here to tell you today that God can take your trash and make it your testimony. That God can take what's broken and use it to help a whole lot of other people if you'll let him. There's this weird thing in how God works. Everything is backwards. The way you think the whole world works before you get introduced to the idea of a spiritual awakening and that maybe God exists, and maybe some of you move from being an atheist to being an agnostic to maybe even being a Jesus follower. There's this weird thing with God where everything that we've learned is up is actually down. In God's economy, everything is backwards. Like if you want to rise up and be important, you have to learn how to lower yourself. And if you want to grow in something, you have to do something that's the exact opposite. My sponsor tells me this about this part of our program. We're going to skip ahead a couple of slides, guys. He says this, I got to give it away to keep it. That's how recovery works. If you're growing in your health and you're growing in your serenity and you're growing in your peace and you're growing in your sobriety, you have to be able to give away your recovery to actually keep it. And the more you just hoard it for yourself, the weaker your recovery gets. It's the darndest thing. You got to give it away to keep it. This is the main principle we're going to be talking about the rest of tonight. This is the last lesson of the year, and we've been hitting step 12 of the 12 steps and principle 8 of Celebrate Recovery. We're going to read them out loud together. Let's go to step 12 first. And let's read this out loud. Ready, go. Having had a spiritual experience as the result of these steps, we try to carry this message to others and practice these principles in all our affairs. And then principle 8 is this. Yield myself to God to be used to bring this good news to others, both by my example and my words. You got to give it away to keep it. You got to give it away to keep it. So the lesson for tonight, we like acronyms here at Celebrate Recovery. It's called YES, of saying yes to principle 8 and saying yes to giving it away to keeping it. So here's what YES stands for. YES stands for I have to yield myself to God. This is huge for recovery. This is even beginning with step 1. It goes all the way through all 12. We have to E, knowing that our example is what is important. And S is we have to serve others as Jesus did. So let's talk about this. Let's talk about yielding myself to God. What does that mean? It sounds like a very super spiritual thing. Let me make it a little bit more normal and accessible for all of us. When I was in college, I went to Florida State University. Woo, woo. Thank you. Thank you. We are the only fans left in the world after this season. The football season got canceled. If you're not a college football fan, it was literally the worst season in the history of Florida State. It's like football evaporated from Tallahassee. Maybe you'll be back next year. I'm not sure. I'm praying to the football gods about that. I digress. Anyway, when I was at Florida State University, an interesting thing would happen. They were building because the university was expanding and growing. Their enrollment was growing. It was an exciting time to be there. And what was interesting is where they chose to put pathways for people to walk. Sometimes they would put sidewalks in places that nobody ever used because college students never follow the rules, and they'll cut through anything and any grassway and any pathway to get to the fastest way to get where they're going, right? There was an architect, a famous architect of the 20th century named Frank Lloyd Wright. Has anybody ever seen some Frank Lloyd Wright architecture? If you haven't, beautiful, incredible architecture. Mid-century modern architecture is my favorite architect. Incredible stuff. And he would often design colleges. He did Florida Southern College in Lakeland. So some of the draw of just going there is to see some of the beautiful, really cool looking buildings that he helped draw and design. When Frank Lloyd Wright would draw a college for some university, he never drew sidewalks. Never. Now, is it because he's an idiot and didn't think about that and only thought about buildings? Not at all. Not at all. The universities and these boards would go, I'm like, Frank, thank you so much. Incredible. You forgot the sidewalks? And he would say, no, I didn't. Wait 6 months. See where the students walk. They'll tell you where to put the sidewalks. Right? Where the grass is dead, that's where we put the sidewalk. Yielding yourself to God is the difference between paving your own sidewalk and saying, God, we're going to go this way, and you waiting to see where God's going and you pave the sidewalk that way. Just like Frank Lloyd Wright would wait for college students to determine which way to go and how to put the sidewalks, learning to yield our lives to God starts with not telling him what to do, but letting him tell us what to do. I've learned in my own spiritual journey that I quit asking God to bless my plans. And instead, I started to ask God what he was doing, what his plans were, so I could get in on it. Part of giving away your recovery so you can keep it is saying, all right, you're the boss. Where are we going today? Not do my plan. I want to do your plan. That's the first part of saying yes to God. So I want you this next week, if you're ever walking on a sidewalk, let that be your reminder of, all right, God, where are we going today? All right? That's first. We have to yield ourselves to God. The second is we have to know that example is what is important. Even though I'm a preacher and I use words to communicate hope, and words are often my job, I've found in a lot of recovery world, especially when somebody could really use hope and healing of the 12 steps and what Jesus offers, they're not going to listen to you if you preach at them. But they'll listen to you if they see your life. You remember what we talked about 2 weeks ago? That one of the worst things in the world is when Christians are hypocritical. Like I said that quote 2 weeks ago, of the greatest single cause of atheism in the world today is Christians who acknowledge Jesus with their lips and worship loud on Sunday morning and then walk out the door and get on with their lifestyle. And that's what an unbelieving world simply finds unbelievable. Brendan Manning once said that. Well, just like there's Sunday morning Christians, there's Monday night recovery buffs. And so if we learn to live our example, not just on Monday night, but Tuesday through Sunday as well as on Monday, that's what really makes a difference. Let me show it like this. We've had an awesome year this year where we had a ton of people give their testimonies this year. And I'm going to embarrass a few of you right now. But if you gave your testimony here at Celebrate Recovery in 2024, would you stand up right now so we can honor you? Come on. Stay standing, stay standing. Awesome. Okay, I want you guys to remain standing. I want you to remain standing. Don't sit, don't sit, don't sit. Okay. All right. So, this is important. These people were willing to get out of their comfort zone, and these people were willing to yield themselves to wherever God was taking the sidewalk, and to not just share in a small group, but to share in front of people and share, some of them, not all of them, on the internet, their own strength and hope through their own experience. This is a huge thing. You guys are leading with your example by sharing strength and hope with other people. So we thank you, we honor you. All right, now you can be seated. Yeah, that's great. But I want you to hear me. I want you to hear me. Now, we still have one more for this year, and he's sitting back there. I won't say his name just yet, but whatever. Gotcha. Anyway. We're still hoping to do more of these in 2025. So I'm just dropping this in the water right now. If you've been doing recovery for a long time and you haven't shared your testimony, you better start writing. And then come talk to me. Got it? Got it. Okay. Last one is S. Serve others as Christ did. Serve others as Christ did. I want you to turn to your neighbor, and I want you to have 1 minute to talk about what you think are cultural signs of greatness. Like, what are signs in our culture that somebody is doing something great? Okay? Go. 1 minute, go. Make sure nobody gets left out. Turn around, make sure nobody gets left out. Make sure nobody gets left out. Make sure, there we go. Look around you, make sure nobody gets left out. You guys, hey, turn around, make sure, turn around. You, talk to somebody. I'm not calling you out from the stage. All right, everyone has somebody to talk to? Back there, I see somebody who's not getting to talk to somebody. I'm calling you out. There we go. Signs of greatness. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. What signs of greatness in our culture? Oh my gosh. Oh my God. Take a lap. All right, our general culture, not here, like culture in America.
Firemen and policemen running into buildings.
Okay, that's an awesome example. I'm thinking more like of a tangible thing, like it's football season, a Super Bowl trophy or Super Bowl ring is a sign of greatness. What? Huh? MVP. Yeah, Josh Allen. All right, exactly. All right. What else? What is fancy cars? Fancy cars, all right, and it depends. If you're closer to the coast in Palm Beach County, it's a sports car. If you're in the western communities, it's a big old truck in Jesus' name. What else? Social media follower count, big time. That's a good one. What else? Mansion on Palm Beach Island, big old house. What else? A boat. What else? 10-figure bank account. All right, so I was thinking of also like other trophies, like it's getting ready in January to be Oscar season. So if you're an actor or somebody in media, it's an Academy Award. It's the Super Bowl trophy. It's the college football trophy. It's the WWE championship. What? Boo. Don't boo me. I'm the one with the microphone. What else? What's another sign of greatness? A black belt? Huh? Nobel Peace Prize. Right. All these things are great. Again, when you begin to follow the God of recovery that we understand is Jesus, everything is backwards. You want to know the sign of greatness for Jesus? One time his 12 followers, this is how you know the Bible is real, because the guys who wrote the Bible painted themselves like they were idiots. And the only reason you would do that, if you were making it up, you would sound like, and we all got everything Jesus ever said the first time because we're awesome. And they didn't. They messed it up all the time. The reason they wrote it like that is because it's true. And they would argue with each other, with Jesus in the room, about which one of them was the greatest. No, I'm better. No, I'm better. No, I'm better. And there's one time when Jesus said, that's it. And he went and took off his outer cloak, and he got a bowl of water and a towel and began to wash his disciples' feet. And he said this here in John chapter 13. Now that I, your Lord and teacher, have washed your feet, you also should wash one another's feet. I have set you an example that you should do as I have done for you. The sign of greatness, if you decide to follow Jesus in your recovery, is a towel. It's not a trophy. It's not a house. It's not a bank account. It's this. Because the sign of greatness is servanthood. You got to give it away to keep it. So what does it look like if you yielded yourself to God and you said, I'm going to look where you put the sidewalk and I want to live by my example? Here's some ways you could say yes to Principle 8 with Celebrate Recovery. First one, you could become an accountability partner for somebody. Even if you're brand new, give somebody your phone number, you get their number. If you're in trouble, you call them. And if they're in trouble, they can call you, and you'll pick up. And you'll pick up. Everyone hear me? And you'll pick up. And if you can't pick up, you call them back. It could be the difference between life and death if you pick up a phone or you call somebody back. You could become an accountability partner for somebody. If you've gone through the 12 steps, you could be a sponsor. And we need sponsors bad here on Monday night. One of the greatest things you can do to say yes to Principle 8 is to finish your program and go through all 12 steps so you could be a sponsor for somebody else to go through the 12 steps. You could become a greeter on Monday night. Timon is the friendliest person in our church. How many of you, Timon was the very first person you met? For real, right? Yeah. Timon is giving it back. And we need a whole lot more Timons to give it back and welcome people the very first time the way you were welcomed your first time. We need a whole lot more Timons. Metaphorically, God, it's a metaphor. All right, here's what else you could do. You could help with Connections Cafe. You could help Tama. Tama is amazing. Tama serves her butt off. Are you grateful for Tama and her awesome team? Yeah. We need help with coffee and putting desserts out and getting ready for treats and snacks. It doesn't magically appear with recovery fairies. We need your help. We're trying to launch dinner again, and we're almost there. We're trying to launch it in spring of 25. You could help with the food team so people don't have to drive through McDonald's, that they could bring them and their kids and have dinner before recovery here. We could use your help with that. Last one here. You can invite someone to CR. It could change someone's life. And why would you all want to do this? We're going long. I'm going to wrap up here. It's because of the 12th step promise. We're going to put this here. And this is from the big book. It says, why would you want to do this? Well, if you live out the 12th step in principle 8, life will take on new meaning. To watch people recover, to see them help others, to watch loneliness vanish, to see a fellowship grow up about you, to have a host of friends. This is an experience you must not miss. We know that you will not want to miss it. Frequent contact with newcomers and with each other is the bright spot of our lives. You want purpose and meaning? Got to learn to give it away so you can keep it. All right, so here's our tool and our questions for tonight. Our tool is a simple prayer here. It's, Dear Jesus, as it would please you, bring me someone today whom I can serve. That's a dangerous prayer, guys. That's a dangerous prayer, so take a picture of that. Here's our questions for group. Question 1, what is one area of my life I need to yield to God instead of trying to do it my own way? And question number 2, what is one victory I can celebrate this week? All of this and the tools in the COH app for notes today, so if you missed it, you can go back and get it. For the sake of time, I'm going to wrap us up here so we can get everybody out of here on time. So we thank everybody for coming. You can give back to the program and give back to Community of Hope that helps put on this place with electricity and childcare and bathrooms and all running water. Aren't you guys grateful for all those things? We don't charge for coffee. We don't do any of that. And so we want to make it available for people to come and do recovery. So you can give back to the program. So we encourage you to do that. Here's our map of small groups for tonight. There's going to be men on this side of the building, women on this side of the building. We have open share and chemical dependency for both men and women. If you don't know where to go, come find somebody with a name tag and they'll help point you in the right direction. With that, if you're able, would you stand? And we're going to pray the serenity prayer to close out our time tonight. We're going to head to small group and step studies. Let's pray. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things that I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Living one day at a time, enjoying one moment at a time, accepting hardship as a pathway to peace, taking as Jesus did this sinful world as it is, not as I would have it, trusting that you will make all things right if I surrender to your will, so that I may be reasonably happy in this life and supremely happy with you forever in the next. Amen. Go to small group.